I just kind of want to do this and do this just to talk about like sketchbooks that end up in our phones that are just like endless notes.
Oh, yay! Yes!
No one's really brought that up yet.
No one.
Okay, my name is Sonali Menezes, and I'm a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary, whatever word we want to use, artist, which just means that I do a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. My day job is I work as an arts administrator, which means I send a lot of emails. So my approach to sketchbooks is really as sort of like an information grab. It's sort of like a note-taking process. A lot of people approach sketchbooks as like this precious art object that they're making completed artworks in that they want to share with the world. A lot of pages in my sketchbook are lists because everything belongs in your sketchbook. And my sketchbooks mostly look like note-taking. I can show you an example of like an artwork that like started from sort of a sketchbook and then ended up in a final product. So this is a sketch that I did. And then I outlined it in a Sharpie, and then I scanned it into the computer, and then it eventually ended up on the cover of Room magazine. So that's just an example of something that started out sort of like secret, and that was just for me, and then it became a public artwork afterwards. One of the things that changed a lot when I started doing arts administration is I realized the importance of like writing applications and answering calls for submissions to like actually reach artist opportunities. And so a lot of my sketchbook is actually planning out submissions that I'm gonna write that are probably gonna be rejected, but I write them anyways. And so that is a lot of that like note-taking it's a part of my artistic practice, and like that writing practice is also a part of my artistic practice, and they're not separate. Like an example I can give of that is I also like to think of our sketchbooks. I mean, like when we're out in the world, like what's something that we always have on us, especially for me as like a millennial, is like I always have my phone. And so I have this never-ending, well, it does end eventually, note in my phone that is poetry that comes to mind. Just like sometimes I'll wake up in the night and I'll write something, and sometimes I'm like on my way to work and I think about something and I write it into my phone, and then when I just sit down and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna write a poem, I will look in my phone and be like, what was I thinking at 3 a.m. 2 weeks ago? And I'll start there. I also really love to do blind contour drawings, which is something that kind of usually ends up looking like an alien, which is like a really great way to like make something ugly, but to draw something and for it to be ugly and also beautiful at the same time.
Would you be able to draw this ugly, beautiful thing?
Sure.
And while you do so, maybe explain for anyone who might not know what a blind contour drawing is, like what it is.
Okay. How about this, Shinjudy, can I draw you?
Yes! Yes, me!
Okay, I'll do a fine one. Okay, so for folks who don't know, the idea of a blind contour drawing is you're drawing one continuous line, and you're not looking at the paper at all. And you're just like following the outline and the details of what you're drawing, and you're doing it nice and slowly, although I'm doing it a little bit faster right now. And the idea is it just sort of like helps you to train your brain into like looking at things thoughtfully and with intention, and to look at like what things actually look like and not what you think they look like.
And what are you drawing right now?
I'm drawing Shinjudy. And a fun activity that I actually love to do is if you like to do like have a sketchbook practice with other people. I mean, I think my favorite thing about making art is like making art in community with others. And so you can also do a blind contour drawing of each other. so you can both look at each other's faces and draw each other at the same time, and it's really nice.
Kind of romantic.
It is romantic. I generally do it with all my romantic partners, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Reveal. Wow. Lovely.
I love it. Thank you, Sonali. Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Totally.
Yeah,
That's
that was a lot of good time. Thank you.